Are we in? Oh, sorry.
You're now live.
I just dropped it. Okay, now I have to flip this behind the scenes. Look, y'all.
Some
We
of
are
the
now
stuff is not
live.
easy.
All right, we're both in it. We can see our fire. Here's our
Second
Instagram,
camera.
our second camera.
She's using a coral to prop up.
Yeah,
the
you guys,
cameras.
we have pieces of the ocean helping us this morning. This is my beautiful sister-in-law,
Hi.
Kat. Welcome, everybody. I know you're going to take a minute to join us, but this is Kat Cornelius of Tuxedo Cat Imaginarium, and we're having our coffee tea.
I got a bigger one.
She violated the coffee rule of coffee.
It is?
No, I'm just kidding.
Like, what's
Or
this rule?
your favorite beverage to join for a beautiful Sunday morning. We're on the banks of Whiskey Creek, pretending it's fall. We've got the fire going behind us, but it is going to be about 80 degrees today. I'm so glad you came to visit us.
I know. What a fun thing
already. I know. So we're going to make it quick and sweet every time we do a Life by Design interview. It's to highlight someone that I admire, that I know you will admire. And you have really been an excellent role model for me.
Thank you.
And I love her catchphrase is explore your crazy.
Yeah.
So how does explore your crazy align with your Life by Design?
Well, I've always been a little bit of a black sheep. Growing up, I'm the youngest of 4 kids, 3 older boys, and they're, 10, 8, and 4 years older than me. So I kind of was off on my own a lot, and in my head and singing and to myself, but I would always wander the town, which my mom didn't like. But I just was an explorer, and I just realized that I was not like the rest of my family, and the things that excited me were a little bit unconventional, and I like to make things that don't make sense that other people are like, okay. It's just a whole life of that.
Yeah. So you actually were in a space that wasn't very restricted growing up. So a lot of us, right, we've been told this is the American dream. This is how you do it. Do this, get a job.
Got that.
She got it, but she had that wanderer inside of her, which you were sharing with me. I love that.
The vagabond inside me kind of broke free from. I'm 36. I was born in 85. And so I feel like I got a lot of that. Like, you got to work, you got to go to school, you got to be the best. You got to make money. You got to support yourself and all that stuff that, to take care of yourself. But as I got older, I was like, I am giving someone else all of my time just so I can pay these bills that I'm kind of a slave to.
Right. So how did you make the shift out of that? Was it an abrupt shift like my crazy quit back in 2009 with no plan? Or was it something you put some thought into? Share with us what that moment was.
Well, I, in my younger, I was 30 or something like that. I broke up with my boyfriend. I was now living in a studio apartment, and I was alone again, and I lost my community, and I was just not doing well. And I went into work one day and I yelled at my boss, and she fired me. And
okay, awesome.
Then I couldn't pay for my car. I didn't have health insurance. I had a really expensive apartment that I could have lived in. So the whole world just kind of crashed on me, and
must have been scary.
How am I going to live? And this is, I feel like that was the most important thing for me, was to get to rock bottom, to feel that empty, and like, how am I going to live? And I started growing from there. I remember, I'm going to spend time in the library and I'm going to read. That just because I didn't want to go out and
do the typical.
Well, I didn't want to go out and hang out at the bars and in the state. Right. So I just kind of went inward, and I decided that this is the life I'm going to have. I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to, I'm going to suffer, but these are my values. The next person, the next friends that I have, and the next man that I have in my life, that I'm going to tell them, this is who I am. I have issues with anger, and, I got some problems that I'm working on, but I'm working on them, and here's what happens. And I just need you to understand that. And
beautiful.
And my husband now,
my brother-in-law.
He's awesome. Heard it, accepted it, and has been a great.
So she attracted him. Yeah. So
I think you did. Absolutely.
What she just shared, you guys, we talk about it all the time. It's about intentionality, and when you do feel that you're completely overwhelmed or you're at that rock bottom, she just gave you the secret answer. you have to go back inward.
Trust yourself and just go forward.
Exactly.
You do you, and you don't worry about anyone else. You do you, and then the people that like what you're doing for you are come to you.
You like energy attracts like energy. So she set intention. She set standards for what she wanted, who she wanted around her. And then she trusted. How did you get to that state of trust? Because it must have been frightening being in that uncertainty.
I gotta say, I wasn't very mindful of what was happening. All I had was looking at me, and everything just kind of happened around me. And now as we're talking about it, yeah. So was the question about trusting myself?
Yeah. How did you actually continue to have that faith that this is going to work out? What kind of language did you say to yourself? Stories? What was it that kept you going? And what kind of help did you get? You and I talked about asking for help when we need it, right?
Just keep going. I mean, every day is a little bit of a struggle, maybe 1 hour at a time, and just really asking myself, well, what do I want? What do I want? And I didn't know for a long time. What do I want? Even the job I do now, I'm still searching about what it is.
Yeah.
But what do I want? And then thinking about it, and then just saying, well, why don't I just do that then?
She gave herself permission, y'all. We talked about this a minute ago, right? You were setting up for one of your big events where you've been emceeing recently, and share that story about the ticket price. And you weren't really sure.
Okay.
So this is an exact. So one of the things that we have to do in a Life by Design, and she already asked that first question. You guys know this question. What do I want?
What do I want?
How's what I'm doing getting me what I want?
Right.
If I'm not getting what I want, am I willing? How willing am I? And she was willing to say, this is what I know I don't want. Yeah. So I'm willing to test out what I do want. And so talking about, we look externally all the time for validation. We're looking for permission.
Yeah.
How did you make decisions, like the recent story about the ticket price? Maybe share that, because that's a great example of you coming back to yourself.
So I put on a show recently. It was a burlesque show in a small conservative town called Concord, which is about a half hour north of Charlotte, and that's where we live.
So just interrupting, Kat, again, for those of you who just joined, Kat is an artist and entrepreneur, a female business owner, obviously, in Concord, North Carolina, and she's been changing the art scene there, really bringing in a variety of activities. And this one has been super fun. It's been a burlesque event that they recently performed, and she emceed. And so tell that story.
It was sold out eventually, but when I started, this was the beginning. Like the city had never had anything like this, and so I was taking a risk, and so I was putting together this burlesque show. It was a live jazz band, so I got to pay all these people, and so I had to have a higher ticket than like $5 or $15 that you see sometimes in Charlotte, and so $35 per seat.
Yeah.
And that's a lot, that's a lot. And so I asked 3 people, is this good? Is this good? Is this good? And they didn't they don't know. And they were like, yeah, I think so. Like, sure, do it. And then some people were like, well, I could go to a strip club for $15. And so
this is high end, guys. This is a higher level.
It is high end. Yeah, it is a very classic stuff.
That's right.
But what happened to me is I was reading a book by Glennon Doyle.
Untamed. Many of you have read that.
Yeah, she was talking about how she was going through her struggle about, am I gay or
right?
And she goes, I just sat in the dark and I just tried to listen to inside, which is she called the knowing, and I love that you connect with the knowing. And so at that time I go, I know $35 is a great price, and I know it in my heart. I know it, and I'm asking all these people to validate it, and I remember realizing, like, they don't know, I know.
Yeah.
And so I set the price and I forgot about it and I sold out.
That's right. She trusted her own instincts. And I think that we lose ourselves in this day and age, and that you're an excellent role model for trusting your own instincts. You're creative. I mean, she's done a variety of art. What are you designing right now? Tell us what some of your projects are.
So as I said, I'm an artist, and I don't really know what my one thing is, except I think I'm accepting that I just bounce from one thing to the other. And, I do this and I get tired. I do that and I get tired. And I really enjoy that kind of flexibility.
and flex. Yeah.
And so what I'm working on now is once I did that burlesque show and it was a huge success, I went out and I got 5 more.
5 more gigs, right?
5 more, 35 a piece, bringing the band, bringing the light guy, renting a stage, and we're doing it in breweries. And I'm just kind of tapping into this new thing where all these breweries have space and they do events. And I'm just like, I'm going to put on a full-blown show.
You are doing it.
And
you're amazing.
And you know, it's not going to cost me money because of the ticket sales. Hopefully we sell out. I mean, it's always a risk, always. And so I'm working on just kind of really getting out there and emceeing. I love it, talking on a mic.
Yeah, I knew she'd be the perfect guest. So you're amazing. And I hope everybody will go and follow you at tuxedocat.imaginarium here on Instagram. You can also follow it on Facebook. And, you know, if there's one thing I love about a person who's doing their life by design is that I know that they spend a lot of time celebrating themselves. And it takes that type of self-love in order to really put yourself out there and trust that, you know what, I'm being me, I'm loved, I'm enough, and I'm going to go and follow this path. So hopefully we're giving you guys permission to follow your life by design path today. And as I ask every client at the end of every coaching call that I conduct, I'm going to ask you, what is one thing that you want to celebrate about yourself before we wrap up our Coffee with NICOA?
I'm crazy. And
I love
it. Unapologetically, like I got a mohawk. I don't match clothes. I wear what I want. I am who I am. And I mean, I just have let go mostly about what people think of me. And I'm out there. I'm out there crazy. And my husband is too. And it's great.
And she's in our family, so she fits right into our tribe of crazy. We love our crazy, and I love you. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for letting me be on your show.
Of course, I love it. And I will share this out to all the channels, and we'll talk to you guys later. Please share if you think somebody else would benefit from this Life by Design interview. Thanks, guys.
Now watch as we turn everything
off. Okay, so we're ending the stream and then we're ending the live.